The next speaker is Deputy Tommy Broughan, and you have 5 minutes.
Thanks, Laskin or Cathaoirleach. I think I'm probably the only person in this House to have voted against the blanket guarantee in September 2008 and also against its renewal during this government. I voted against the blanket guarantee, of course, because I believed it was a totally unjustified and economically crazy policy for the Irish people. I feared it would leave us with a huge burden of debt for decades to come, and that ultimately that golden circle of insiders which produced the crash and which is represented in this House, especially by Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, would continue to escape the consequences of their profligate behaviour and would be permitted to protect their key assets. So it's proving to be. Will any future historian, Cathaoirleach, draw much of a distinction between the Fianna Fáil Green government up to March 2011 and their Fine Gael Labour successors down to today? The SiteServe and IBRC controversy simply highlights the widespread fire sale of past businesses and financial assets by IBRC and NAMA in particular, but also by the other state banks and through the Troika diktats since from late 2010. Bottom line is that nothing changed with the 2011 election, and Enda Kenny and Michael Noonan steadfastly, Deputies Enda Kenny and Michael Noonan steadfastly carried out the policies of Deputies Bertie Ahern, Brian Cowan and Brian Lenihan. Clearly, Deputy Catherine Murphy and her valiant staff have done the Irish people an enormous favour over the past year in doggedly questioning the sale of SiteServe in early 2012 and the treatment of high-value customers of the now liquidated bank. I commend Deputy Catherine Murphy for her perseverance, painstaking research and great courage in pursuing the huge questions raised by her inquiries. The arrival of vulture funds and various financial sharks into our country from early 2009 raised many worrying concerns for Irish citizens across many sectors of the Irish economy, from commercial and housing property to financial institutions like Bank of Ireland and Permanent TSB. One of those key concerns related to the strange sale of SiteServe. Most people were very familiar with the Sierra company, which was so heavily involved in developing Irish infrastructure, like the gas network, for example. And they looked closely at SiteServe when they realised it was a Dennis O'Brien company and had obtained a $500 million contract to meter every household for Irish water. Like our other deputies, of course, I had no knowledge of the SiteServe balance sheet in 2012 and had no way of knowing whether the €45 million return or so net profit was a fair return to the Irish people or in fact a knockdown price which squandered €100 million of state assets. I noticed that articles in publications like the Phoenix magazine and Sunday Business Post were alarming, however. The SiteServe company was clearly hugely indebted to IBRC, but it was a profitable going concern with a workforce of several thousand people. We now know that in 2011-12 its sales increased 11% to €169 million and turnover increased again in 2011-12. And I noticed that Phoenix magazine argued that an annualised EBITDA of 15 million and the sale price multiple, that an annualised EBITDA of 15 million, which was the case, then the sale price multiple should have been at least 6, indicating the SiteServe was worth a minimum of 90 million in early 2012. And allowing SiteServe management to handle the sale seems a serious error by the Chair and CEO of IBRC, and the exclusion of trade buyers from the sale also seems unbelievable. It's also been suggested that at least 90 to 100 million euros could have been realised for SiteServe if its important British subsidiary, Devora Services, had been sold separately, given that it was bought for €60 million only in 2008. So I welcome, Cathaoirleach, the very belated decision of the Government to establish a Commission of Investigation under Section 3(1) of the Commission Investigation Act. The scheduled term of reference seems reasonably comprehensive. I support I think it was Sinn Féin Party and the Renewal Party in relation to the relevant write-off limit being cut by 90%. I also welcome the fact, the important element of shining a question mark, I think, on the Department of Finance. I think it has to be said, Cathaoirleach, that a huge question mark now hangs on the future of Minister Michael Noonan himself. In July 2012, for example, why didn't you order the independent review of the SiteServe sale, which Deputy Murphy has sought for so long? Why didn't you at least order the special liquidator to check out the SiteServe and other such sales over the 2 years since prom night? Why did Minister Michael Noonan appoint a company, KPMG, with a clear conflict of interest to lead the review of the SiteServe sale just weeks ago? Given the scale of these errors, Cathaoirleach, in most other EU jurisdictions, Deputy Michael Noonan would have resigned by now, and I would call for his resignation. Indeed, that's still the right course of action for the Minister. We must also ask what knowledge had the other 3 members of the so-called Economic Management Council, Taoiseach Kenny, Minister Howland and former Minister Gilmore, of the nagging and profound public concerns about the scale of write-downs in IBRC, NAMA and other state financial institutions? Or did they care, and did you care, Minister? Thanks to the appalling decision of September 2008 taken by Fianna Fáil, supported by Fine Gael, Sinn Féin and, it has to be said, many independent deputies, 35 billion of precious public money was sunk into the dead carcass of Anglo-Irish Bank and Irish Nationwide. The totally discredited Rabbit Gilmore leadership of the Labour Party jumped on the same bandwagon in March 2011, and over 7 years the most vulnerable citizens in our society have been crucified with cutbacks and ever-increasing charges and debts. Hopefully the investigation now underway will shine a bright light on those responsible for these terrible failures and for the suffering of our people.
Deputy
Thanks.
Thanks very welcome. Before you take your seat, would you mind adjourning the debate for now, please?
I so move.
Thank you very much.